Hey everybody, Brian here. What you just witnessed here is the generation of a variety of different charts that one of my Python scripts runs to analyze and download uh, various different segments of the euro market. I've done a detailed overview of this script, but I just wanted to mention that for you in one of my upcoming videos, which is this. So hold tight. And we'll go through some of these. So once again, this spreadsheet that I'm about to show you, download. I'm not going to go through any of the details on this as part of my Quant Leap membership course, Algo Trading Course I've gone through. What we can see here, just wanted to show you and highlight some of the potential here, is if you go through all this data here, you can get all the information that you want for the European market using this, the economic sentiment indicator. And basically what it contains is a monthly report since the inception of this data. It goes back all the way to some in the 80s, just depends on the country and what they report. We can see here, here's all the different services for the EU as a zone. We've got industrial services, construction, retail, building, and the overall ESI for the Eurozone. We also have the EA area, and we all break it down into each country. Now, each country has a code name. It's about 20 plus. Yeah, it's over probably 25 plus. Of course, we include right now the UK before their referendum, which is still technically part of the EU. So that's still going to be considered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each and every of the charts, even for the EU as well, and just get a general idea of what looks pretty good. So let me do that. This may take a while, but hopefully I'm just going to be doing this visually, roughly eyeballing it. We've got quite a lot of charts here, as you can tell. Let me go through the EU first. There's actually two areas. We've got the EA, which is the European area, and then of course we've got the EU as well. So let me go through the EA, which is the Euro area. Let's check out some of these charts. So here's the charts overall. You can see we have probably a zero line. You can see overall that the Eurozone has been in the tank, but it seems, and I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but it could be on the rise. So that's good for the building segment, construction. It's still struggling here. The overall ESI, it's come off, but it's still climbing up, which is good for the overall zone. See how the industrial is doing. It's still kind of trying to come back. Retail, usually this is the stronger one. Yeah, you can see the overall, the retail, the consumer's doing okay. Services, again, this is where the growth is. So what am I getting from this? This pretty well is telling me where the strength is overall in Europe, which you can tell is in both retail and the services. So those are pretty good sectors to look at in terms of as opportunity for trading, specifically around equities. So let's hit up some of the major markets. Actually, just to confirm things, I'm going to look at the EU, the Euro Union. You can see buildings still down. Construction's trying to come back. The ESI overall, it's hanging in there. Industrial, flatlining. Retail, it has gotten stronger. It's tailing off a little bit. Services on a little bit of an upswing there. All right, so let's take a look at some of the major markets. So first, let's take a look at the Euro zone. Let me just do a little trick here. Okay, so let's take a look at the UK first. This is now before the the referendum. You can see it's been tanking quite a bit in the building. Um, Actually, this is consumer, I believe, and bouncing around in the positive. Overall ESI on the decline, but it has peaked in 14. Industrial, dropping, dropping. Services. Okay. So I don't see anything worthwhile, but I will take a little report here. Now, before we get into that, the thing is if you, this is now obviously Python I've just shown you. I've done the same thing in MATLAB, but the difference is with the charting that I've done with what I just showed you for the Python, at the bottom of each report, I would tell you overall where you could short for that sector, and you can also long in what sector. So for instance, if you want to just only focus on retail as a Eurozone overall, because it's can be considered one trading area, because of the currency, it's the same, being obviously the euro. You can identify, let's say you want to figure out as a trading opportunity for a short and a long. Let's say Germany's on the upswing. The long, that's where the longs are in Germany. But you realize maybe, let's say Greece, there's a retailer or something in that sector that you could use for a short opportunity and just trade off of that divergence. If you meet certain criteria, and again, that's what this course that I'm doing is all about with this current first strategy I'm working on. So it's very powerful what it can do. I'm just going to show you basically historically what I look for visually on trading opportunities. But again, because I've done it in MATLAB, I would be doing what I'm about to do here, and it would be done automatically. I just haven't coded that part up yet. Just want to show you how it works. Okay, so let me just clear that pie chart. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to start looking at, we're just going to focus on the major economies, okay, in Europe, and I'm going to include the UK. Actually, no, I gotta break this out because the euro zone, which is in euro, the currency, that's one trading zone, one set of trading opportunities. Then you have the UK, which is in its own separate set of trading opportunities, and it's all driven by the currency because you have the euro within the eurozone, and then you have the British pound, which is in the UK. So they're two separate trading opportunities in two separate regions. Okay, so I just want to make sure that is understood. So I'm just going to do a quick summary of the UK first, and then we'll check out the opportunities that reside within. Where's my pie chart? Where are you, pie chart? No, we want home, and then there we go. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so again, we're going to focus on the UK first, and let's get to it. So this is the building. So let's just say the UK trading zone. Okay. Now again, this is just for British pound because it's British pound. So we'll say that shorting opportunity. Actually, we'll just say building short. Okay. And then we'll look at the consumer. That for me may be a short-term long. Because these are all generated monthly. Okay, these charts. This is done on a monthly basis. So the overall the ESI, I would say probably short-term short. And again, this is now May 16th, so we're not very far away from the referendum for the British to stay within the Eurozone. And as that day approaches, that referendum approaches, there's going to be a lot more uncertainty in the economy, and that's probably what you're seeing politically that's driving a lot of this uncertainty, especially in something like the building market, because that's going to bring in a lot of again, shakiness in confidence of certain sectors. So manufacturing and industrial definitely a short. Like you got a nice trend there. I mean, so so that's definitely short in the okay. So retail short definitely, and then we have the services. So overall, actually short term long. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at as a potential market. Okay. All right. So we've got that. Now let's start checking out some of the other countries. Now, I do know that I'm gonna just load up the recent one I just showed you. This one, the codes for the by the countries within Euro. Okay, so here's our code. So we know SK here. SK, I would believe it's Sweden, or no, that's Slovakia. Yes, so that's the Slovak republic. So I'm not going to give a lot of credence to that for now. Sweden, I think, is a major economy. So let's check out Sweden. Okay, so let's check out Europe. And the first one we'll do is Sweden. Again, I'm only going to do just focus on the major economies within Europe. So services for Sweden, Sweden services, I'd say short term long. Okay. Now again, what I'm doing here, I can easily automate very easily. I'm just showing you the manual approach of it for now. Sweden retail, definitely a long-term, long. Well, I'll just say long-term long. Okay, the industrials, short-term short, industrial, short-term. So that's going to be retail. Okay. So we have the ESI. That one's a little tough. I'll say short. Just that's the ESI. That's the overall economy, economic sentiment indicator. How's the consumer looking? Oh, definitely, that's a huge drop. Definitely a short. Means the consumer does not have confidence at all. Then we have building. See, building's looking pretty good. So that's going to be long. Building long. All right, so let's move to PT is Portugal. Not big enough, I don't think. PL is Poland. They can be an interesting country to watch for because NL is Netherlands. I'm not going to worry about them. MT, I believe, is Malta. Well, let me just do Netherlands because they can be fairly good. Netherlands. So what do we got here? Building, definitely a long. Okay. Construction. Long. When you include the, I'm saying intermittently construction and consumer. I am meaning construction. That is home builders. So that's a good indicator of the retail, sorry, the consumer in terms of investment opportunities for buying homes. So we said construction and long. Netherlands overall, maybe a short-term long. Again, this is just visual. So, so we want industrial. How's that? Maybe a long. There's better ways to do it. Oh, definitely the retail's doing really good there. Long. So I'm going to put that here. It's a potential. So services. I don't know. I'm just going to say no change. Okay. So what other countries can we look at? I know Latvia's been doing fairly well. Lithuania could be in interesting places. But let's take a look at Italy. I think Italy's coming back a little bit. Building, long. Building, consumer, long. How's ESI looking up? See, ESI, I'm just going to say potential short. So we've got retail. We looked at the retail. Retail, no change. Services, probably short. Okay. All right, so continuing along. Ireland can be a good one too. Ireland, let's see what Ireland's got. Services, I don't think, now, is there going to be any charting for, maybe I've seen this before, bugs. Construction, some data for that. Building, I don't know why that's not working. Okay, so let's check out HR. Who's HR? I know it's not Hungary. Well, okay, so that's Croatia, HR. Not going to worry about them. So let's do France. Okay, how's France looking? That would be probably a no change for services. No change. Retail. Retail. Short. Industrial. No change. Oh, actually, that's a short. The ESI. Short. Retail, industrial, services, short. Okay. So these are typical outlooks that you could use. Now let's do Finland. Okay, so how's the services looking for Finland? Ooh, definitely on the up. Gotta like that one. Service, long, I'll put a little thing there. Retail, Finland, retail, short, industrial, short, okay, overall, their ESI, no change. And then consumer, consumer, long, somewhat, and building. Oh, definitely building. So you can tell, I'm going to put some stars or asterisks around that. Okay, so we've done the EU. Let's take a look at Spain. Yes. You can already see some potential trends. Services, no change. Retail, maybe a little long. I think you can tell who the tourist zones are. Industrial, short, ESI, short, I don't know, potential long for the ESI. And construction, say long, and building. That's definitely on the up. All right, well, who else do we have here? EE. Now, EE is Estonia, EA, Denmark, and what do we have left? We have Denmark, Germany, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, Belgium. Okay, so let's just do Denmark, and then we'll leave it at that, and Germany. Okay. Denmark services, down. Denmark services, short. I'm gonna put a little star on that just as a marker. Retail, short. Industrial. You can see who the weak players are. Industrial, short, ESI. And this is the consumer. I'll say along. All right. Oh, and building. Okay. All right, so we've done that. Now we're going to just do all right, so boy, oh boy, I'm not doing too good today. All right, so continuing along, EU. Now we're doing Germany. Okay, services. That's kind of a short-term long. Long. Retail short. Industrial short. ESI overall, that one's going to be kind of a no change. And consumer, no change, I put them in there. No change. And then lastly, the building. Nice one, building. Long. Okay. So, what do we have here? Let me just maximize that. So, we know certain sectors are doing quite well. So let's say for services overall, I'm just going to do a couple of these overall. So we'll say services, definitely short anything in Denmark, short Denmark, and long, let's say maybe Finland, long Finland. Now, if I showed you the difference between the two, so we are going as an example for a good, maybe a decent trading opportunity for different sectors to short and long. What we could use is we could look for Denmark shorting. We're looking for shorting services. So we want Denmark services. So that's Denmark as an example. And we are going to use Finland services. So you can see the divergence between the two. Yeah, I could see that potentially. So you long the services, short the services for Denmark as one currency again. So you look for companies in the services sector to potentially short against Finland companies involved in the services industry, okay? Just as an example. I'll do one more. So let's say we've got building, building, so we've got building long we could do. Let's see the building long for Finland. Okay, just as one last. So we have building. Building long Finland and short. What would we short? Which country? We could short Greece, but so we're doing building, building. Maybe, well, I'd say UK, but they're not in the same currency. Building, services, building. There's no shorts in the building. Building short. I don't see anything. Building construction, blah, 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 blah. Could do that. Everything is building is up. But, I mean, you kind of get the idea of what I'm looking for in terms of divergence in short and long in different sectors for within each country of the euro. One day I'll do a more intelligent way of doing this, but hopefully you kind of get the idea of what this kind of script can bring in terms of trading ideas. Hopefully this will help somebody out there.